Ladies and gentlemen, the Canadian Bank, the National Bank, the Bank of Canada has done it. They've raised the rate to 0.75, which has pushed us into restrictive territory, which means the mortgage rates will be triggered for all those people that had static payments on their variable rates. This is going to have massive impacts across the entire economy. If you were thinking of buying a home, this is going to change your entire strategy. If you were thinking of selling your home, this is going to try and change your entire strategy. All of your investments and your retirement funds and everything that are included in that is all going to be affected. We're going to be talking about how will it affect you and what you can do to avoid it. All right, let's get right into the articles today, you guys. Today, if we jump into these articles, to me, absolutely crazy that this is even happening to us. We're going to be looking at a couple of things. Now, let's pull them up one at a time. So here's what is happening in the market today. If we look at realtor.ca, it has a bunch of insights. Now, I don't think that you can get a hold of this. I can get it as a broker, but let me show you some of the things that people are looking for. First of all, are people looking now? They are looking more than ever. The record is 1.3 million unique IP addresses are looking for homes per day. And we are past the 1.3 right now. So everyone and their dog is looking for a house right now, but no one is buying anything. Everyone's eyeballs are fixed firmly like a deer in headlights, waiting to see the chaos that's going to be happening. So big records, but what are they looking for? So if we look to this right now, we can see that for pricing, it's all over the place. Some people are looking for 500,000, 400,000, a million, like 5% in each one of those categories. So we don't see a clear winner. When it comes to maximum prices, those are also very diverse. We don't have a clear winner. One thing I do find interesting is in the bedroom category. The number one category that people are looking for today is 2 bedrooms at 24%. And 3 bedrooms, which is 24%. That is huge. In the past, 1 bedrooms would dominate, but today we're looking at 2 bedrooms and 3 bedrooms. Now, why would 2 bedrooms and 3 bedrooms be the most common out there? It is because people are not able to afford or qualify for the mortgages to get into the new homes. That's why there's so much inventory on the market. Secondly, they are going to have to shrink the size of their household and shrink that quality of life because inflation has cost them so much money. So where they used to live in a 3-bedroom house, they're going to downsize into a 2-bedroom, put all the kids in 1 bedroom. So this is a very clear sign. We've been watching this since 2007. We've been watching these types of charts, and I think it's a big tell of what's happening in the economy. 2 and 3 bedrooms taking up 50% of all searches, which is crazy. All right, so that is big. Now we go look at our money supply. I need to always include this because this goes to the foundation of everything that you believe in, everything that's going to affect you. If you go to tradingeconomics.com and just type in the Canadian money supply, the interesting part is since last December, the Canadian government is telling you we need to spend less. We need to spend less. We got to raise interest rates. We got to cut down demand, save money. But if you go look at the Canadian government, they're spending more and more every single month from January, February, March, April, May, June, July, all of them up. They're keeping on spending more and more as we head into this. So they are creating more and more inflation. If we back up to the 5-year chart on Trading Economics, you could see it just obviously take off in 2020, but even through 2022, it is still going up. So this is a mega problem when it comes to our interest rates. So knowing these few things should give us some clues to the future and how we're going to be dealing with this. So remember, money printing creates a lot of inflation. And so no matter what, they are ironically raising rates to fight inflation, but at the same time, they're spending money to create inflation. I'm not the only one that sees the irony there, okay? So they are pushing up the money supply that creates inflation, but using that as an excuse to raise the interest rates at the same time. This is one of the very rare events in history where you can have the economy that's slowing down and grinding to a halt, and they're raising rates in the center of it. All of this is because of the mismanagement that happened since the health crisis started. And all of that money that was printed, this is the result. You know how it takes a long time for water to trickle through all the earth, through the aquifers to get back down to the groundwater supply? This is like when you print a lot of money, it's like when it rains a lot and it all sits there. It takes some time to come through, but that inflation is coming, and it's coming like a tsunami. This is very important to know when you're going to be dealing with your home. Second thing that's going to be happening right now is we now have moved from an area of non-restrictive, they use that term, okay, the banks, to restrictive territory. Where they were yesterday in Canada, they said, we neither think that it will help or push the economy down. First of all, what a joke. So the economy is way, way down. The stocks are way down. The houses are way down, some 30, 40%. Crypto is down. Everything is down, but they still think we haven't done it. Which is crazy. Okay, so the economy is taking a real beating, okay, of epic proportions. And what you've seen in the housing, though, has only been new buyers can't qualify. That's it. People aren't foreclosing. We can go look at all the tax lien sites all over the place, all over Canada, the States, and nothing is being foreclosed on. Now, this is going to happen. So as everybody knows, there is fixed rate mortgages, always the same. Variable rate mortgages, so those are always in trouble. So remember, those people that were on variable last just 8 months ago or something were sitting at 1%, sometimes 1.5%. But now they're going to be paying 6%. Most people can't afford that. So remember, 1% of interest rate change up drops the price of your home by 10%. The same is true on the inverse. If they lower interest rate by 1%, your house goes up 10% in value. So when they lower the rate by 10%, up the rate by 0.75, like they did today, it is going to drop the value of your home by 7.5%. Think of it like a balance, okay? You remember those old balances? You put a weight on and put some flour on the other side. You can either have high interest and low price of a home, or high price of your home and low interest. And so we have just watched from low interest and high price of a home as it's rocketing up this way. So as interest is going up, the home prices are going down. That's what's happening. So we have to pay attention to, number one, the money supply. Huge inflation is already coming. This whole dream about them slowing down inflation is not going to happen. It's near zero. There's no way that they can lower inflation. If you look at history, the only way you can lower inflation is if you raise the interest rate above inflation. So they're stating inflation's 8%. I don't believe it. That's another story. But I'm saying you have to have the interest rate at 8 or 9% over inflation. So I don't see that happening. And in addition to that, they're printing more and more money every single month. They're not slowing down at all. Funny, the government is telling you that you got to save all your money and you can't spend it, but they're spending more and more. Doesn't really work that way. Anyway, so as the rates keep going up, inflation is still going up. How is that going to affect your home? So everybody who's on a fixed rate is pretty set. They're pretty stable. Now, there are a few people, not many, that have gotten approved within the last 90 days and for a fixed rate, and they still have that in the bank kind of thing. They can cash that in and go look at their home and still buy it. Very few. But the people who are on fixed rate, they're good. The people on their adjustable rate, oh, they're suffering bad. And all those people that were on those adjustable rates with a static payment for a year or two, that kind of like teaser rate to get in, those people are now hitting their trigger rates. What does that mean? We've talked about it before, but when your entire payment goes toward interest, you can't have that in Canada. You can't have interest-only payments like they had in the US back in 2006. You can't have that. You have to be paying off some of your principal every month. So now that the interest rate has gone up today by another 0.75, we are now in that massive danger zone. Now we have around 80,000 people in Canada that are all going to be triggered off of that into that variable rate now. So you're going to have people going from 2% to 6.5%, 7% like overnight. And that's going to be happening over the next couple months. That could have huge effects. In the US, it could be somewhere around 750,000 to 900,000, somewhere in that range, how many people are going to be triggered instantly the next time they raise rates. It's very, dangerous times. And the US, we're going to find out in a couple of weeks. But what do we think is going to happen? They're going to raise rates. They just had the meeting in Jackson Hole. And in fact, his own word said an unusually high rate may be necessary in the next meeting, which means it's probably coming. We're probably going to see something like we're seeing right now, 0.75%. Remember, this rate that Canada just set now is in response to what the US government did about, the US Fed did about 6 weeks ago. We always follow the US. And like in the 90s, 90% of the time, we are about the same interest rates, hike and down. It's usually very close. So it gives us a good idea. Where are they going to be next time? They're probably going to hike it again. It also might not surprise me to see if they slow it down a little bit and have some kind of good news, because we're heading into midterm elections in the US, which has big implications too. So they're going to want to show that they have done their job really well. If you are thinking of buying a home, and I can't be more serious about this, if you're thinking of buying a home, you should not be buying a home. Not right now. Just go rent something. The prices are going to get continually pummeled down and down. We call these sticky categories, because as you go on, more and more people will have to refinance. So in Canada, most people cannot lock it in for a 10-year term. The max is like a 5-year term. So you have to renegotiate every 5 years, even if they left the rates exactly where they are today and don't change them for another second, not even one more millimeter. Even if they did that, over the next 5 years, all these tens of millions of mortgages will be coming up one at a time, and huge portions of them, how much, I don't know, but a lot of them will not be able to make those payments and will go into foreclosures. So the damage that this rate hike will do is not going to be seen over a couple of weeks or months. It could be years of this steady decline, depending on where they put the rates. I really doubt that is going to have a short-term effect. I can't see it any other way. I'm wondering what you think. If you guys agree with this, I'd like to know in your comments below. But if you don't agree with this, tell me why. I'd really like to know. I'm always out there trying to learn. If you are thinking of selling your home, it's probably a great idea, but it depends where you are. So where is a good place to sell your home? If you had a large home, a detached home that was in the inner suburbs or downtown to a major city in Canada, Vancouver, Montreal, Toronto, if you had a big home in Mississauga, York, Vaughan, around the inner suburbs of the areas, those homes will probably go down quite a bit, as well as the homes downtown, detached homes, semi-detached homes downtown. But if you were in, say, a small entry-level townhouse or a 1-2 bedroom condo, those, especially 2-bed, 2-bath, those are the condos you want to keep, and I wouldn't be getting rid of them. I have a lot of people that were contacting us from Ottawa. In Ottawa, in a 1 or 2 bedroom condo, you want to stay in those units if you're downtown, especially if you're close to transit. Those entry-level homes close to transit, amazing. Hang on to those. So the market is going to be going down. You're going to sell. Maybe it might be good or not, depending on where you are. If you're thinking of buying, don't buy right now. That could be a big issue. If you're going to be selling stocks and that's part of your RSP, I'm not a financial advisor, so I can't really guide you to that, but I could just tell you what I do is what areas are getting pummeled, mostly tech companies and stuff, and which ones are standing up pretty good are the ones that are delivering on commodities. What kind of commodities? Things that we need to survive. Energy, food related, generally, power of some kind, fuel or something like that. So the things that we need to live, not the pleasantries in life. So I link those two things. I always say to buy gold and silver. But if you look at 2 silver coins, one coin is a maple, which is made by the federal government. It's fancy pants. And this is just a 1 ounce round. 1 ounce round. This 1 ounce round here is no name. It's just made by a private bank. This is really expensive because of the brand name. You have to pay a lot for it. This is just like a regular t-shirt, no name on it. But guess what? When you go to sell them, all they do is weigh them. All they care is about weighing them. So that's why I say don't buy the maple. The maple is all this pretty, but there's no weight behind it. This, just buy something for the weight. So what do I mean by houses when I say that? Don't buy the pretty right now. We learned every single recession that we've ever had that the largest homes, the huge cottages, and all the fancy things in life, boats, we're seeing in the States now, boats are down 50%. 50%. RVs are down like 30 to 40%. So the fancy things in life are dropping in price, but the necessities of life are always pretty steady. So that's why I'm saying entry-level homes and commodity base and stuff like that, I think is a great idea for you to stick into. Anyway, I'm really curious to know what you guys think, if you like this type of stuff. And if you know anyone that this could help, just send it to one person. It would help me out a lot. I really appreciate it. And remember to like and subscribe. I'll talk to you soon.